Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
All right, so today we're going to put on our detective hats and solve one of the most common and, let's be honest, pretty confusing check engine light codes out there, the P0201. We're not going to treat this like some scary car problem. Nope, we're treating it like a mystery. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to crack the case.
Ah, yes, the dreaded light. That little glowing engine on your dashboard, just kind of staring at you. But it's not just a warning light. It's a message. It's a secret your car is trying to whisper to you. And when your code scanner spits out P0201, that message gets very, very specific. So let's find our first clue.
Okay, first things first, before we can solve anything, we need to understand what our car is even trying to say. So let's unmask this P0201 code and figure out what this clue really means. So P0201 translates to injector circuit /open cylinder 1. Now, the key word here, the one you really need to latch onto, is circuit. This tells us right away it's an electrical problem. Think of it like a dropped phone call. The engine's main computer is trying to call the fuel injector on cylinder 1 and say, hey, open up. But the line is completely dead. The computer knows it sent the signal, but it heard nothing back. That's the core of our mystery. And that drop call isn't just happening in the wiring. You can actually feel it in the driver's seat. Your engine might stutter and hesitate. When you're sitting at a stoplight, the whole car could feel shaky and rough. You'll definitely feel a loss of power when you hit the gas, and, oh yeah, your fuel economy is going to take a serious nosedive. All of these symptoms are happening for one simple reason. Cylinder number 1 is basically being starved of fuel. All right, every good mystery has its lineup of usual suspects, right? In our case, these are the things that could be causing that dropped call between the computer and the injector. So let's go meet the potential culprits. Okay, now this is where things get really helpful. This chart tells us exactly where to focus our investigation. Look at that. A massive 75% of the time, the problem is either the fuel injector itself or the wiring plugged into it. The computer is a suspect, sure, but it's way down the list. And that, my friend, is awesome news, because it means we can start by checking the most likely suspects first, which also happen to be the easiest to get to. So it's time to play detective, and you don't need a whole garage full of fancy tools to do this. We're just going to need a couple of basic things and a simple, logical process to figure out who's guilty. And our interrogation begins with the simplest tool of all, your eyes. First, you gotta find cylinder number 1, which on most engines is right up front. Then, take a really close look at the electrical plug on that injector. You're looking for the obvious stuff. Is it corroded with green gunk? Does it feel loose? Or, and trust me, this happens way more than you'd think, do the wires look like a mouse decided to have a little snack? Sometimes the entire mystery is solved right here in about 30 seconds. Okay, so if a quick look around doesn't point to the culprit, it's time to bring out our main interrogation tool, the multimeter. You can just think of this thing as our electrical lie detector. It's going to tell us the truth about what's going on inside our number 1 suspect, the fuel injector. What we're doing here is we're checking the injector's internal resistance. We're basically checking its electrical pulse, its vital sign, right? And for most injectors, a healthy reading is going to be somewhere between 12 and 16 ohms. That number tells us that the little coil of wire inside the injector is complete and in good shape. And the results from our lie detector test are pretty much black and white. If your meter shows a number somewhere in that 12 to 16 ohm range, the injector is healthy. It's telling the truth. But if your multimeter screen flashes OL, which basically stands for open loop, well, that's a full-blown confession. It means the wire inside is broken, the circuit is open, and we have found our guilty party. But wait, what if the resistance test comes back normal? The injector seems innocent, but you're still getting the code. Now we need one final test, the smoking gun, that will prove beyond any doubt where the real problem is. This next test is what professional mechanics call the gold standard, and for a very good reason. The swap test is simple, it's brilliant, and it is almost foolproof for getting a definitive answer. So here's the game plan, and it is so smart. You take our main suspect, the injector from cylinder 1, and you move it to a new location. Let's say cylinder 2. And you put cylinder 2's injector into the cylinder 1 spot. Then you clear the codes, start the engine, and just wait. What we're doing is seeing if the crime follows the suspect. And now for the verdict. And honestly, it could not be any clearer. If the check engine light comes back on and the code has moved to P0202, well, the problem moved with the injector. The injector is guilty. Case closed. But if the code comes right back as P0201, the injector is innocent. That means the part is fine, and the problem is in the wiring or the computer connected to that original cylinder 1 spot. So once we have our verdict, the investigation's over. Now it's time to close the case, which means it's time for the repair and then making absolutely sure our problem is gone for good. The sentence has to fit the crime, right? If the injector was guilty, you replace it. If the wiring was the problem, you repair that section of wire. A couple really important tips here. Always use new rubber O-rings and seals to prevent fuel leaks. And here's a big one, a huge safety warning. Always, always relieve the fuel pressure in the system before you ever disconnect a fuel line. So I get this question all the time. Hey, can I just, keep driving with it? And the short answer is nope. It's a really bad idea. That open circuit means one cylinder is just a freeloader. It's not doing any work. That throws the whole engine out of balance, putting a ton of stress on everything else. You're not just dealing with low power, you're risking a way more expensive repair down the line. And just like that, the mystery is solved. That P0201 code isn't some scary random light anymore, is it? It's a clue. It's the start of a logical investigation that you now know exactly how to handle. By following the evidence, you can track down the real culprit and fix the problem yourself. You've just learned how to decode one of your car's most important messages, which really only leaves one question. What are you going to investigate next?